A system is a regularly interacting or interdependent group of items forming the unified whole towards the achievement of a goal. It's a basic, boring dictionary definition, but here's the key. A system has a goal, and a system has interactions and or interdependencies. Now, I've assumed for this discussion today that our goal, the goal we're going to talk about, is making more money now as well as in the future, okay? Interactions and or interdependency, those are statistical terms, okay? And an interaction means that if you go back to your organization this afternoon or tomorrow after our discussion here, and you start making changes, there's going to be some interactions. You start changing something in one part of the organization, there will be an effect somewhere else. You may or may not even be able to predict the effect, but there will be an effect. That's an interaction. An interdependency means there's a certain order that we do things in our business, right? We don't just, if we're building a house, start with the roof, right? There's a certain order that things have to be done. If we're building a custom conveyor, for example, we don't start by cutting metal, right? There's a design that has to go into it. There's a certain order that things have to be done. If we're designing a pump, right? Again, we don't start with the casting. We're going to start with some design and some other stuff. There's some things that come before it, and we certainly don't start with shipping. But those are the interdependencies we have to deal with. We have to do things in certain orders, okay? So that's a system. A system has a goal, interactions, and interdependencies. So we're going to consider a chain. Now, the goal of my little chain here is to hold the maximum amount of weight possible, okay? So that's the goal, and all the links are interdependent. Meaning, in order to hold the weight, each link is dependent on the link above it. So we have a goal, and we have interdependency. By the way, this chain makes me really popular at all the airports. All the TSA people love to come talk to me about my chain. Okay, so the way that we tend to run an organization, especially a complex organization, is we divide it up, right? We can just look at our organizational charts and see how we divide it up. And we give everybody in our organization responsibility for certain things, right? You have operations, you have finance, marketing, sales, we divide it up. Well, we're going to do the same thing with our chain here. And each of you are responsible for a link in the chain. Now, you all know the goal of our chain here to hold the max amount of weight possible. We've just gone through budgeting, and I'm the owner of this organization. I'm sure you completely agree with the budget you've received, because that always happens. And I give you a great pep talk. Say, okay, guys, come on. We know what the goal is. Let's have a great year. And all of you start to go work very hard, very diligently on your link in the chain. And you start applying it and improving it, okay? And at the end of the year, because budgeting's coming up again, we have to see how we did, right? What worked, what didn't work, how did we do, how are we going to change the budget for next year? And we start to look into that. And we see that Paul here has responsibility for the intricate gold link. And he takes his budget. He not only gets this gold link shining, but he doubles the strength of it. Very hard worker. And Joe has the purple string. Now, he's a little bit embarrassed by the Barney color. It's starting to fray a little bit, and Joe's not a fan of Barney. Nevertheless, hardly takes a break, hardly takes a vacation, triples the strength of the purple string. And Sid, he has the yellow plastic link. Again, really hard worker, takes the budget and doubles the strength of the plastic link. Now, how did we do? We have to evaluate, right? So we get the team together and we say, okay, guys, how did we do? When we doubled the strength of the intricate gold link and the yellow plastic link, what impact did we have on our system and our ability to hold more weight? What impact did we have?
Only as good as the weakest link. Yep.
Right. We're only as strong as the weakest link. Despite the fact you had a budget and you either have to spend it or lose it, because next year, if you don't spend it all right, next year you're not going to get the same amount back. Despite that fact, the only time we had an impact on our goal to hold more weight was when we strengthened the weakest link.